Today's session is a little bit different. We're going to do a Q&A that I posted on Instagram, and I did get quite a few questions, so I thought I'd just do a YouTube video and answer all of those questions that are relevant, because some aren't so relevant, but I'm going to answer them today. So hi everyone, my name is Radhika. I am a property investor. I've been investing for the last 3.5 years. I have a portfolio of HMOs and now I'm going into buy to let. So if that's of interest, please go and hit that subscribe button, go and follow my Instagram, and I post loads of content on both YouTube and Instagram. The first question I had asked is, do I have a virtual assistant? I personally don't have a virtual assistant. There are 3 of us in the business and we decided to create the business for ourselves. Eventually we might hire a virtual assistant, but at the moment we don't need to. Quite a lot of our business is outsourced, i.e. we have someone running the lettings, we have a property deal source, so actually work with multiple property deal sources. And we also try and reduce the amount of things that we have to take on, essentially. And the most important thing that we do in our business is 1, how to scale our business, and 2, investment. The second question that I had been asked is, what is my biggest regret? And to be honest, I don't have that many regrets in property, but my biggest regret is not telling people at the start, because I was so scared that people wouldn't take me seriously, or they'll just be like, oh, she's just jumping on that bandwagon. And yeah, I just didn't even tell people about even my first property. I didn't even tell people about. I think I did a Facebook post, but definitely didn't start Instagram then. But yeah, I was just scared to tell people. So my biggest regret is, my biggest piece of advice is, tell everyone what you do. Even if you're starting out, document all of your journeys, because you never know who's watching, what opportunities you can bring. The third question I'm going to just read off my laptop is, if I had to start from scratch with £0 of your own money, where would you start? Now, this is a really hard question because I don't know if I would have gone into property. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I reckon I would definitely start learning and networking, leveraging off people, going visiting people's sites, and I don't know, maybe working with deal sources, maybe going into rent-to-rent service accommodation. I don't really know where the answer is, and I know this is a fluffy answer, but I definitely would stick with HMOs as my first purchase, or maybe doing a little mini mo like I did. And yeah, maybe getting a couple of buy-to-lets just to get that cash flow going in, and not doing bigger refurbs, because that's when you get your experience as well. This one is a bit of a long-winded question, so bear with me. If I have £80,000, shall I put 40 into 2 buy-to-lets, or put 80 into 1 and bag more profit from the rental income? It really depends on what the strategy is and where you are investing and what the biggest opportunity is. If you write down on paper, this is the profit on 2 buy-to-lets, this is what I'm gonna do, you know, you have more leverage on that. But if you go and put 80k down, you know, what does that actually give you? And just weigh up the 2. Having 2 properties does kind of de-risk some of the investment, because you've got 2 rental incomes coming in. But that's not to say that the 80k property will, or you know, whatever you do with that 80k in terms of a deposit and things like that, will get you more rental income. It just really depends on what the strategy is. But I would highly recommend that you just write on paper what the 2 opportunities are, put down the pros and the cons, because only you would know, and it really depends on the area and what the strategy you are using. Question 4 is from a good friend of mine, Mohit, and he says, what's your gross/net rent target per month? And my kind of target is around £20,000 mark, just because I do have some HMOs, and sometimes HMOs could be up, sometimes they could be down, sometimes you can actually get more rent then, and sometimes if you have voids and things like that, or a turnover of tenants, or a high turnover of tenants, which might mean more voids, then you might have less income coming in per month. So I think £20,000 for me is okay. Question 5 is, in contention with 5 others on a property, others have increased offers, what would you do? This is a bit of a hard one because I don't negotiate on properties. As you all know, I work with property deal sources who do that. But if I was to do that, and having a sales kind of background role, is that what else could you offer in terms of, have you spoken to the vendor? What is the motivation for them to sell? Can you be flexible on your terms, maybe offer a purchase lease options and put in that higher offer? Can you be creative? Can you do vendor finance? Can you help them kind of yeah, with vendor finance, like give them a percentage return on the money that they lend to you for the deposit or the refurb or anything like that. It's just all about being creative. Everyone's probably put in a straight offer, and you know, that's probably the only thing on the vendor's mind. So if you can become creative, it might give them a second opinion and a second chance to overlook what is different about you. And the third point is to just be likable. People buy from people, so put in that extra effort, do anything that you can just to make the vendor feel a bit special. And you know, sometimes you've got to put in to get out. Okay, I should have probably written down what question I am, but I'm just going to go on to the next question, and it's how to start as a total novice, dreams to get into property but don't know where to start. I've actually been speaking to this person on Instagram as well, and she's a lovely lady. And as a novice, one thing that I highly recommend is everyone get educated and find a strategy that is suitable for you. Yes, you might see on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube that everyone's doing XYZ strategy, or get into this strategy, get into that strategy, but just pick one that really works for you and focus 80% of your time going into that strategy, learning about it. What are the things that you need to know, and what are the things that you need to avoid and not make the same mistakes as other people, and how can you be a little bit creative in what you're offering. So yeah, highly recommend you get educated. And secondly is network with people. Start a property page on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and start promoting what you're learning as well, because you never know who you're going to connect with. And that actually was on a podcast yesterday, and one of the biggest tips that I said with networking is that you just need to be consistent with what you're posting, so people will then be inclined to reach out to you, because people like to see what other people are doing. So yeah, highly recommend that you push yourself out there, increase your brand exposure, and start networking and messaging. Right, this one is best area for cheap property close to London for HMOs under 50k. If someone can tell me where I can get property under 50k in near London, please will reach out to me. Like please reach out to me. There are some areas in the northeast and the northwest that will cater to this, and maybe Wales, but in the southeast, I think the average price, like house price, is like 200,000. Don't quote me on that, I will get the right figure and put it in this video, but under 50k I'm not sure, unless that means deposit, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, if you do know, please feel free to send me a message. This question I should have probably answered first, and it is, what is the best method for learning? And I highly recommend everyone find out what type of learner they are. You could be a kinesthetic learner, like so you learn on the go. You could be a visual learner, so you see things and pictures and reading and things like that, that's how you learn. Or you could be a audible learner. I don't know what it is at the top of my head, but essentially you take in things from listening in. Me, I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I like to learn things on the go. I find it really hard to learn from reading things and listening to things. It kind of goes in one ear or one eye and out the other. But yeah, just highly recommend, and then go with that and see how you get on. That's why I kind of say with the site visits and going and seeing the refurbs and things like that, because that is how I learn. The next question is how I started in property, and I think I've said this a few times now, but sorry if you get sick of hearing me, but I started 3.5 years ago. I saw a post on Instagram from my friend, and then just started reading and learning and going to network meetings when we could go to network meetings before COVID. And yeah, just started connecting. Really liked the idea of getting into property. I knew that wealth creation was from property, and if you read anything from like Alan Sugar, Grant Cardone, and big people like that, they all have built their wealth through property. The next question is, how do I get along with my aunts when running a business? What do you do to differentiate your relationships? So this is a lovely question, because I get along with my aunts so well, like always have done. Like when I was growing up, they used to take me out. I kind of go out with them all the time, and yeah, we just have a great relationship. I see them as my sisters rather than my aunties, and one of them always gets mistaken for my mum. And yeah, we just have a great relationship. I think a lot of our relationship at the moment is all about business, but we kind of separate it. But we just get so excited to see what opportunities are coming our way that it does always fall into business. But when we go to family things, we just don't speak about business at all. But when we're together, we just get so excited about the opportunities and what we're doing. So yeah, you just can't help it. And it's nice to know that you've always got people that are always going to push you and have your back at the same time. So I just love that aspect. Don't get me wrong, it has been harder sometimes, and they're going to be watching this laughing at it, but we always come out brighter on the other side, and we should be able to kind of be open with each other. And I think that's where the honesty and the transparency comes in. Otherwise we wouldn't have formed a business together. And there has been times where we've all challenged it, but there's times where we're like, we can work together, we're an amazing partnership. So yeah. The next question is, how has social media helped you with your investment journey? So I started Instagram a year and a bit ago, so last year, April in 2020. I don't know when you guys are watching this video, but yeah, in April 2020, and it's been a game changer for me. It started off slow and just connecting with people that I know and people that I didn't know, and I just loved meeting new people in property, especially like when you can't really relate to other people, like your friends and family and things like that. When you have conversations, it's really hard to relate to people, and especially the challenges that you have in property, like waiting on a deal, waiting on an offer, waiting through the legal, finance, things like that. So it's just been amazing. And now I'm kind of like helping other people getting into property as well, all for free, by the way. I'm not charging anyone or anything like that, but I just have transitioned it because I know that I have a lot of experience to share with people who, when I was in that position, when I started out, you know, I didn't have any of this. I don't think Instagram was as big then. So yeah, just trying to help other people, but it's definitely helped me. I get people who want to invest in my business. I've got collaborations. I am hopefully securing a few more other things. I've been on podcasts, YouTube channels, I've been on magazines, and yeah, just kind of exposing myself as much as I can, because you never know what you're going to get and you never know what opportunity is going to come your way. And thankfully, because I've been able to grow my brand and I'm likable and relatable to some people, I know I do get some trolls, but you know, hey ho. But overall, it's been amazing, and I've been able to connect with people, and the fact that people look up to me as an inspiration is just only pushing me more and more. I hope you enjoyed that Q&A. I'm going to be doing another one in a couple of weeks time, so I'll post it on my story or comment below. I think the easiest point is commenting below or posting on my Instagram story when I post it up. So have a look out for that, and have a great rest of the week.